Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Gina here, getting ready for our Monday evening Vinyasa flow yoga. If you could take the next couple minutes just to get yourself situated, we'll be using some props this evening, a blanket, a block, maybe 2 blocks, and a strap. And substitutes for those are, of course, welcome. So if you don't have a strap, any sort of like cord or tough, string, climbing rope will work, or bathrobe, sash, or long belt of some kind will work. We'll be doing a little bit of hip opening and a spinal twist at the beginning of our practice using that strap. So it'll come early on in the practice. Blocks may be used throughout, and a blanket for our seat, for our knees, and then at the end for our shavasana. So that's not, always a required prop, but nice to have handy. Okay, let me know when you're here, and let me know if you can hear me okay. Always checking in on those technical things. All right, we'll get started at the top of the hour in about 8 minutes. Right. Hello again. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Gina here. Happy Monday. As you're getting situated here, make yourself comfortable with your props. We'll be using a blanket and 1 or 2 blocks and a strap. So if you've got those items, great. Something along the lines of this sort of thickness or a little thicker works for your blocks. So a thick book. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire comes to mind. If you've got those books around, the hardcover ones, maybe those will do. Or anything, a box or something. We will be laying on the blocks at some point too. So that can help maybe guide what you use for your block substitutes. And then a strap. And that can be anything that works. That's about so long. We'll be using it in the beginning of our practice for some hip opening and spinal twisting. So as long as it can kind of like loop around your foot as you're laying on your back on the floor. That should do it. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Let me know that you're here. Just drop a note in the comments, and also that you can hear me. That'd be super awesome. Yay, Patrick, thank you. Appreciate it. One little technical item off the agenda. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a pretty good day and that you've been able to enjoy a little bit of some sunshine. Got out for some time outside, a walk or something. Went for a little walk today, listened to a podcast, saw some cute dogs. So yeah, we'll get started in about a minute here. Okay, let's get going here. It is 5 o'clock, so we will begin. We'll start in a seated position. So if you'd like to sit on your blanket or a block, that can be a nice way to support your seat and help elevate your spine, elevate your hips and lengthen your spine. Okay, and this evening I'd like to focus physically on some elements of grounding our bodies into the here and now, and also opening the chest and shoulders and strengthening the spine. With the current times that we're living in, I think always reminding ourselves that we are really only existing in the present moment can be really helpful. It's so easy to get ahead of ourselves and kind of project and storytell and let our minds kind of run away from us. And so I'd like to just remember that in our practice this evening, that we can use our breath to remember where we are and to kind of control our internal experience a little bit when we can't really control so much of what's outside of us, right? We can't always change things happening in the external environment. We can influence how we interact with that external environment based on our internal environment, right? And we can sort of control or be a little bit more aware of and present with that internal experience when we're connected to our breath, and more so when we're connected to our bodies through the movement of yoga, okay? So I think that this is a nice way to just show up for ourselves kindly, whether we're having an awesome day and we're feeling great and, you know, super positive, or just kind of a low day and we're like, I just made it to my mat, and that's something to be proud of and grateful for. So wherever you are on that spectrum of your emotional experience today or how you're feeling physically, just know that that's okay. And I'm glad that you're here, okay? So let's get comfortable in our seat, and you can place your hands onto your lap and close down your eyes. Doing so brings our experience within, kind of tells our mind we're going inside now. Okay? And whatever you find inside in your practice this evening, try to sit with that, whether it's uncomfortable or whether it's joyful, again, whatever sort of spectrum of experiences you're having. It's like that saying, like, the only way out is through, right? The only way we kind of get through any feelings of discomfort is just to let it be there, and then we can move on. So start to also notice the quality of your breath. Notice how it's moving in and moving out, and how you don't really have to do anything about that for it to happen. Our respiratory system can function without our conscious control, but knowing that we do have a little bit of power to take deeper breaths does put our breathing pattern under a little bit more of a conscious process, which we'll get into later. But here we can just notice the beauty of after the exhale, the inhale will come, and after the inhale completes, the exhale just wants to happen. Your body wants to get rid of what no longer serves you in the form of carbon dioxide, leaving your body on the exhale. And let's start to find a little bit of gentle movement, and you can keep your eyes closed or open them if you'd like to, but let's just start with the head. Let's roll the head around through the chest and over the shoulders, pausing to let one ear just sort of linger over that shoulder and lengthen out through the opposite side of your neck. Continue moving with your breathing and letting your head kind of roll from side to side. And then let's start to grow these movements a little bit. So you can continue moving with your head and neck if you'd like, or just kind of isolate the movement to your shoulders. Rock your shoulders up and down your back one at a time. And you can sort of think of this as like a sort of figure eight type of movement. And your hands might slide in and out along your lap as you do so. Again, if it makes sense to keep moving your head, you can do that, or just keep it still. And then reverse the direction you're moving in. So taking that opposite figure eight position and letting the movements get a little exaggerated too. So kind of lengthening one side of the body as the other side body shortens, and then, reversing that. So the nice thing about some of these movements that you're being asked to do is, like, it doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as it feels good. And you're probably on your own, so it doesn't matter. Again, feel like I look silly. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And then pause, let yourself be still. Notice how you're feeling. And take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Seal your lips, breathe in through your nose, feel your spine lengthen, sit up tall. Pause at the top of your inhalation, and then take in a little bit more air. Exhale through your nose, let the breath go. Let's inhale, circle the arms overhead, lace your fingers, flip your palms up toward the ceiling, and exhale, side bend over to the right. Keep both of your sitting bones down into your space. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Let your fingers release and twist to your right. Bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. Inhale, sit up a little taller, and exhale to twist. Inhale, rotate back to the front, lift your arms up, and exhale, twist over to your left. Right hand to left knee and left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen, lift your chest, and exhale to twist. Inhale and unravel, bring your hands back to center. Exhale, bring your palms together and down. And then let's make our way onto our backs. And you can set the prop aside that you were sitting on and move it out of the way so that when we start to move our legs here with our strap in a moment, it doesn't bother you. Okay, come down onto your back and start to find gentle movements here. You can rock your knees from side to side. starting to deepen your breath a little bit, noticing how you sort of had that one length of that rhythm of your breath, and now you get to broaden it a little bit. You can make your in and out breaths longer, and you can make your breaths deeper. Bring your knees back to center, feet standing on the mat, knees pointed up. Let's breathe in here. Feel your pelvis tilt back. Feel your low back press into the mat as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, feel your pelvis rock back so that this curve in your spine gets a little bit more accentuated. Inhale, draw the belly in, hug the navel toward the spine, press the low back into your mat, and then exhale, let your pelvis tilt away. These bony spots, the hip points, those are kind of moving in and out, okay? So let's inhale, bring them in, and exhale, let them move away. So here we're starting to notice the spine, right? Moving into the mat and away from the mat as it moves into some sort of kind of lengthening or flattening into the earth, and then that extension of the thoracic spine, your mid-back. And let's pause, just notice, right, that awakening of the back and the pelvis. And then let's find our strap and take it into the right foot. Extend your right leg up to the ceiling, and you can draw your hands down so your shoulders are nice and soft into your mat, and let your left leg extend or keep your knee bent if that feels better for you on the left side. Let's take a breath in and out. Start drawing your right leg more toward your face if that feels comfortable, and you can bend your right knee if that helps. Let's keep the back of the pelvis grounding into the mat on both sides. So this pulling down on the strap helps keep the right side really plugged in, and activating the left leg, activating your quad a little bit and your calf, helps to keep your left hip down. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Bring your hands or bring the sides of the strap together in your right hand and open your right leg to the right. You can bend your right elbow and use your tricep as sort of a kickstand. The farther apart your legs are, the more intense this will feel. So you can always slide your hand down along what you're using for your strap. So the right leg comes closer to the left, and that'll decrease the sensation. Maybe feel just right for you. Start to bend in the right knee, lift the right leg up and cross your right leg over to the left. Extend your right arm out to the side and let your right hip heel away from the mat, and just breathe into now the spinal twist. Shoulders are soft on the mat. The face and the jaw are soft as well. And then begin to bend your right knee, bring your right leg back to center, and release your foot. Pause here. Notice the difference in the sides of your body. And then let's switch. Bring your left foot into the strap. And you can extend the right leg down onto the mat or keep the foot on your mat, up to you. If your right leg is extended, you're noticing that engagement, the back of the leg pressing into your mat. And then as we draw our arms down the strap, elbows bent, shoulders soft, we can feel the plugging in of the back of the left hip into the mat. Deep breath in, deep breath out, drawing the left leg more overhead as that feels good for you. You don't have to force it. And then take the strap together in your left hand. Right hand comes to the right hip. Remind that leg to stay a little bit active, and send the left leg out to the side. Start to bend in the left knee. Bring the leg across, switch hands on the strap, and guide your left leg over to the right. Here we can release the engagement of the right leg And let your left arm go out to a T. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel your breath travel up your body. And a nice letting go breath. Couple more breaths here. Breathing up and down fully, feeling your belly expand and contract. Bend through the left knee, bring your leg back across your body. Let your strap go. You can set that aside. Pause here. Plant your feet on your mat. Again, notice the sensations of your body. And then let's start to tap into the Ujjayi breath, sealing your lips and breathing in and out through your nose. Let your arms come out to a T. Lift your knees up and let your feet extend out ahead of you. And you can squeeze your knees together here. If you'd like, you can even use a block in between your thighs. And we'll start to let the knees drop from side to side. They're not going to touch the floor here. We're starting to awaken the core. So start to hug the belly in. Keep that engagement as you drop your knees from side to side. Okay. Our core strength helps to control the movement as we come back up with the knees. And it helps to control the movement on the way down so that we don't just kind of flop the knees toward the floor. Right? So here's where that mindful breathing connected to movement really becomes handy. As you inhale, you bring your knees back to center, maybe taking a whole breath in to bring your knees back. And then the exhale, you bring your knees over to the other side. Don't have to overthink it too much. Just allow the movement and the breath to be synced up rhythmically, okay, nice and smooth. Let's go once more to each side. And then pause, let your feet come down. You can take the block out if you use that. Pausing here, noticing that toning of the belly, right, starting to warm up. And then bring your knees back into your chest and kind of find a little movement here. They can be side to side, rolling along the sides of your spine and back. Let's maybe take the knees out wide and flare the toes, roll your feet and ankles. And then we'll make our way up and onto our hands and knees. So however you want to do that's up to you. You can just roll off to the side and press yourself up, or rock and roll the length of your spine, giving yourself a little bit of a spinal massage and build momentum. And then rock over the knees or ankles and come to the knees. Okay. Give yourself those nice organic movements as you make it to tabletop position, rolling through the spine, moving front to back, and moving side to side and around. Just kind of recognizing that full spectrum of spinal movement, kind of 6 dimensions. We've got front to back, side to side, up and down. Let's pause, come back to our neutral tabletop, pressing through the palms and the knees, drawing the belly in, giving ourselves that support of the core. Tuck the toes under. Let's breathe in and out here. And then with the next inhale, let the hip points drop toward the floor. Tilt your pelvis forward, lift your head and tail, coming to cow pose. And then exhale and reverse. Pull the belly in, drop the head down, press through your palms, your knees, and press your feet down into your mat. Inhale and reverse. Draw the toes under, pelvis drops, head lifts. Let's draw the shoulder blades together a little bit more here. And then exhale and reverse. Round through the spine, press through palms and the tops of your feet. Let's go one more time. Inhale, draw the toes under, reach forward with your chest, and exhale and reverse. Press through palms, knees, and tops of feet. Feel the arms start to engage as you press into the mat. Inhale back to neutral, gazes just ahead of your hands, and exhale there. Let's come up onto the knees, and here's where you might want some more knee support, so you can bring that blanket underneath your knees. And let's turn toward the middle of the mat. As long as you can, still see, or just adjust your screen. And let's extend the right leg out to the side. Okay, toes of the right foot line up with the left knee. Right hand comes to the right side. Inhale, left arm comes up. And as we exhale, we bend over to the right, sliding your right hand out. So notice here that nice lateral bending, that spinal movement as we bend over to the side. And again, that a little bit of core engagement and toning here. And along the left side, your left oblique muscles. They're helping to keep you stable. A lot to be grateful for in our trunk. One more breath in and out. And then inhale, bring your hands up overhead and exhale over to the other side. So left hand comes down, right arm comes up. We're open across the chest here. This is our supported plank, or side plank. Sometimes you might choose this variation when you're in a side plank. Let's take a breath in and out, opening across the chest, getting more circulation and energy flow through the chest, the lungs, and the heart here along this line, this axis. And then let's lift the right leg, flex the toes, and reach out through your heel. Let's take a breath in and out. And you can just stay like this if you'd like, or if you're kind of feeling a little bit more desirous in the areas of balance and kind of back bending right away, maybe bring your heel behind you. Find your foot with your hand and gently kick into your hand. Stay nice and open in the chest. Let the shoulders kind of plug together like you're sort of squeezing that imaginary pencil behind you. And if you had that bind, let's let it go. And we'll take the right arm overhead, reach it to kind of like away from the heel. You're making this nice long line between your heel and your fingers. Breathe in here, and then exhale, elbow and knee come together, rounding the spine, bringing elbow to knee in front of you. Inhale, lengthen, reach away. Exhale, hug in. Draw the belly in first. Let that sort of be the initiator of this action. It's kind of like the belly draws in and brings everything with it. Inhale, lengthening out. Exhale, hugging in. Again, we have an invitation to use the full duration of the breath. So the inhale lengthens out, and the full exhale to draw us in. Super controlled. One more time. Inhale, lengthening, reaching away. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the foot down. Kind of roll your body toward your mat and through the center. Bring your hands out in front of you. And imagine you're taking down dog with your arms. Breathe in here and out. Tent to your fingertips. Kind of plug your fingertips into your floor. Activate the arms. Breathe in and out. Palms flatten. Let's walk ourselves back in. And release that right knee back under the hip. Pause, noticing what's happening from side to side. Let's find the other side. Extend your left leg out. Toes of the left foot line up with the right knee. Left hand to left thigh. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, slide over to the left side. Stay open in the chest, maybe drawing the top shoulder back a little bit here. Tapping into that strength of the core and that spinal mobility as we twist, or bend rather, to the side. Inhale, bring your arms overhead, and exhale, right hand down, left arm up. We have this nice line from the bottom palm up through the top fingers. You're reaching the left finger skyward as we press down through the right hand. Open across the chest. Breathe in and out. Inhale and lift your left leg, flex your toes, reach out through your heel, and you can stay like this. Or if you want, take that bind and back bend. So bend your knee, bring your foot behind you, find it with your hand, and gently kick into that hand. So you're opening at your own pace. Stay with your breath. Release the bind if you made it, but keep the leg lifted. And we'll bring the left arm over the ear. Here we again pretend we're making that nice long line from your fingers through your heel. Reach away. Exhale, pull in. Feel your body contract inward from the core center first. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Exhale, draw in, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen away, reach long, open. Exhale, contract. Couple more times and just notice that lengthening and that shortening, that opening and the closing, the duality that's always present in our yoga and in our time off of our mats, right? At one moment, we might feel super joyful and happy and content with everything going on around us. And others, we're just trying to stay with it, avoid that feeling of uncontrollable circumstances, right? One more. And release your foot down to the mat. Let your body drape forward toward the floor. Hands come out in front of you. Tent your fingers. Claw into your space a little bit here, like you're reaching the tops of your wrists ahead of you. Breathe in and out. Bring yourself back in. Let your left knee come back under you. Stay on your knees here a moment. Just let your shoulders shrug, arms release, wrists release. And pause. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And turn yourself back to the front facing direction of your mat and make your way into downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Find those organic movements that your body's asking you for. And then pause in stillness. Let's take a deep breath in and out. And then gaze forward and start to make your way toward the top of your mat. Step or hop your feet forward. Once you make it there, let's inhale, lift halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana, draw the shoulders onto the back, and exhale, release back down. Let's stay here. You can bring your pinkies into your elbow creases or kind of hug your elbows. Let your body drape down, draw the weight toward the balls of the feet, and bend the knees. Feel free to find movement here. And then steady your movements. Unbind your hands. Let your hands come under your face. Let's bend the knees a little bit. Start to hug the belly in. Press down through your feet. Inhale, root to rise. Reach your arms overhead. Stay with your breath here. Notice the shoulders releasing down on your exhalation. Take a breath in and out. Let's lace the fingers together. Flip the palms up, breathe in and out, bend over to your right. Feel free to send your left hip a little bit out to the left if you'd like. I'm exaggerating this side bend. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Again, feel free to let the hip come out to the side if you'd like. Inhale back to center. Unbind your hands. Let's bend the elbows, lift across the chest. Inhale, return the arms high. Exhale, bring your hands together behind you, lace your fingers. And first, let's focus on drawing the shoulders together and down. So a little more space between your shoulders and ears. You can bend your elbows and actively squeeze your upper arm bones together. Okay? Take a breath in and out. Try to release some tension in your face and jaw. I know our arms are active, but we can find some release elsewhere. And then let's inhale and let your knuckles draw toward the floor. So moving the arms more towards straight and lift the chest up. Bend the knees, and on an exhale, let yourself drape forward and let the knuckles come overhead. Shake out your head here and try to keep the shoulders together and drawn away from the ears. Let's find some movement here from side to side, bending your knees. Connecting to those deep belly breaths here. And then release your hands gently. Bring your hands under your face. Let's inhale, rise halfway up. Shoulders onto the back again. Exhale, release. Plant your hands down. Step your feet back. Bathrobe, plank pose, push-up position. Press back through your heels and reach forward through the crown of your head. Press through your palms and draw your pelvis up just a bit. Imagine tabletop in your spine. Breathe in and out. One more breath in. Feel that engagement in your legs as they power up, in your core as it keeps you strong, and your arms as you're pressing into your mat. And then let's bend the knees, bend the elbows lower down, chest, belly, and thighs. Take your time when rolling here, unfurling. Press your pelvis and the tops of your feet firmly into the mat. Inhale, ripple up for baby cobra. Elbows draw back, gaze stays down. Exhale and release. Again, inhale, ripple up, shoulders drop back and down. Belly pressing into the mat. Maybe the knees are lifted here. Exhale and release. One more time. Inhale, rippling up, pelvis is down. Gaze is just ahead of your hands, maybe at the top of your mat. Exhale and release. Tuck the toes under. Press back through your hands and knees or a high plank, up to you. We'll make our way up and back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's inhale, lift the right leg high, extend through the heel. Keep your right hip kind of drawn down so it's level with the left, but keep reaching back through your heel. Okay, imagine you're extending the crown of your head forward and your heel back, so you're lengthening your spine. And then with the exhale, bring the knee in and let the foot come down where the right thumb had been. Left knee comes down to the mat. Feel free to pat it, adding that support. And inhale, lift up with the arms. Exhale, shoulders settle down. Here we have an invitation to find a drishti, a gazing point. Maybe it's that fixed spot out ahead of you. And you can just breathe into that space, reminding yourself that you're here, right? That spot ahead of you is what you're focusing on. That's all there is right now. One more breath in. And let's breathe out. Release your hands down, release your chest down. Pause here for a moment, feeling the support of the earth underneath your fingertips, underneath your right foot and your back knee and maybe toes or foot, whichever version of this lunge you've taken. Reach your chest forward, deep breath in. And as we breathe out, let's move the hips back into Ardha Hanumanasana. Straighten your right leg here. But let's find a little bit of movement with the foot so you can roll around your ankle or kind of roll on your heel. Maybe pause for a moment, just keeping your toes reaching toward the top of your mat. That could be nice for the top of the foot in front of the ankle, even into the shin. And then let's meet back in that traditional Ardha Hanumanasana, toes flipped up. And lift up onto your fingertips. Notice that strength of your legs, keeping you lifted, right? You don't have to use the floor, really. You can probably just feel that support, the balance support through the core and the legs. And then let's exhale and release back down. Plant your palms, lift your back knee, step your right foot back, Bathrobe, plank pose. Deep breath in and out. And let's make our way back to down dog however you'd like. So if you want Chaturanga Dandasana, you can, hinging forward, lowering to a mid-plank. Inhale, press down through the feet, up with the chest, or maybe you came down to your knees first and you've done baby cobra instead of upward facing dog. And then exhale, we pull the hips back, moving to downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg, extend through your heel, draw the left outer hip down, and let the crown of your head point to the space between your hands. So again, imagine your spine extending up through your head and out through your heel. So we have this long line. Breathe in and exhale, pull your knee in, rounding forward, and then step the foot down where your thumb had been. Lower your right knee to your mat. You can walk your hands up to your thigh, or with the inhale, kind of find that more energetic version to the low lunge as you reach the fingers upward, maybe even spiraling the pinkies in toward one another. Here again, connecting to your breath, that full inhalation rising up and the full exhalation traveling back down. Your gaze is out ahead of you, or maybe your eyes are closed this time. Let's breathe in together. And then exhale, hands release to the mat. Move your hips back, flip your toes up, Ardha Hanumanasana. And then you can find movement here with the left leg and foot. So maybe you're just rocking it side to side or taking it sort of in a circular motion. And then let's pause with the foot flat down into your mat. Toes reaching toward the space ahead of you. And then pull the toes back in, lift gently onto your fingertips or maybe hover them. Belly draws in, right? Sort of instinctively at this point, we're like, oh, I'm going to find that engagement through my core to balance. And then exhale and release back down, walk the foot forward and move sort of fluidly back to your plank pose here. You're welcome to take any variation back to your downward facing dog. Maybe just moving your hips back. And that's it. Let's all take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting go. Seal your lips. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. Finding that Ujjayi breath once again, in and out through the nose, even duration on your in-breath and your out-breath. One more breath in and out. And then let's inhale and lift the right leg back, just as we had done before. And exhale, we'll bring the foot through and turn the back heel down as we would for warrior two. Okay, so it's parallel to the short edge of your mat. Begin to straighten your right leg. We're going to move into Trikonasana triangle pose. So you can bring your right hand to the foot, the shin, or inside or outside of your leg. Maybe you'd like a block here that can feel supportive. And then let your inhale draw your left arm up like you're pulling an imaginary bowstring back on a bow, opening your chest, lifting your gaze upward, and pressing down through your feet, feeling your legs strong underneath you. We have our feet grounded and rooted, which allows for some freedom of expression along the chest here. Let's breathe in together, and then exhale, let your top hand come down toward the floor. And then inhale, pull back that imaginary bowstring, open up once again. Feel your belly draw in as we move through this kind of slow motion core exercise. Inhale, pull that imaginary bowstring back, open up, and exhale, kind of a slow motion moving down as if you're going to give yourself a high five. Let's inhale, open up once again, and let's pause here. Breathe in and out. Bend through the right knee. Let's lift up and back to reverse warrior. Open along the right side of your body. Let your pelvis drop toward your mat. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, move to warrior two. Pause here and situate your alignment of the feet. And then inhale, reach forward, and exhale, come into extended side angle pose. Your block might be handy here once more. So that same sort of openness to the chest as we did in triangle pose. Now with the knee bent, we're noticing that strength of the quads. Draw the hips open, or sort of like pelvis underneath you. Left hip draws back. Glutes are engaged here as they hug to the bone. One more breath in and out. Let's inhale, rise to five-pointed star. Give your hips a little wag, line up your toes, and exhale, drop into your God and Goddess pose here, your squat. Turn your toes out, heels in, palms together, shoulders on the back. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, lengthen the legs, reach the arms overhead to your star pose, and then exhale, come back in. One more time. Inhale, lengthening up, reaching. Exhale, drawing back in, keeping the knees moving out. Chest is open, spine is long here. Breathe in and out. Lengthen the legs, bring your arms out to a T. Let your toes point toward this long edge of your mat here, lining up. Breathe in, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward and down. Let your body sway from side to side. Bending your legs as you kind of make it to that side. And then pause in the middle. Breathe in and out and pivot back toward the front. Let's make our way back to our plank pose. And then we'll find our full side plank. But if you want to take the variation we started with, please do. Let's move the left hand to the center, spin open to your side plank on the right. So my feet are staggered here. That allows for a nice long and sort of neutral spine, but maybe you're best supported by bringing the left knee down. Okay? Stay with your breath. Keep lifting that left hip away if the knee is lifted. Breathe in, and let's breathe out. Come back to our plank and go to the other side. Right hand moves to the center. We spin open to the other side. Again, you can just drop the heels so your feet are staggered. Lift the left arm, lift the right hip. Maybe your gaze is skyward if your neck is okay with that. Breathe in, and let's breathe out. Come back to our plank pose. Let your feet be about as wide as your hips or a little wider. Hands about shoulder distance apart. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, bend the knees down to the mat, bend the elbows. Lower chest, belly, and thighs. Your inhale brings you to baby cobra. And exhale, we release. Tuck your toes under, press yourself back, kind of peeling away. Hips hover over the heels. Inhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg, extend through the heel. Exhale, pull the foot through, replace your thumb, turn the back foot down. Okay, we'll find that series on the second side. So we'll set up for triangle pose. Back foot is going to parallel to the short edge of the mat. Find your block if you'd like it on this side. Start to straighten through the left leg and lift the right arm up, opening your chest. Okay, so arms are kind of at that 6 and 12 o'clock position. Sort of our home base. The torso is nice and long, it's extending and reaching, and our legs are nice and strong and supported underneath us. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, draw the belly in, feel this navel hug toward the spine, and let your right hand slowly come toward your left hand. Inhale, pull that imaginary bowstring back, open up. Exhale, right hand comes down. Might not feel like you're doing a whole lot, but you are. Keep your belly drawn in, move slow and steady. One more time through this cycle of movement. The inhale opens us up, and exhale, we come back down with the right hand. Let's inhale, open back up once again. Stay here. And then start to bend through your left knee. Inhale, move all the way up and back to reverse warrior. Keep the knee bent. Feel your pelvis lowering toward your mat. And although we can't see that front knee, let it move leftward. Okay, draw it toward the small toe edge of your foot. Breathe in and out. Come back to warrior two. Notice here, what's your body feeling? Let's inhale and reach forward. And exhale, come into extended side angle pose. Maybe you got that block once again, using that under the bottom hand. Feel your tailbone draw underneath you. Right hip opens just a little more. Feel the gluteal muscles engage a bit, kind of helping to keep your pelvis stabilized here. Let's breathe in and out. Let's lift ourselves up to a 5-pointed star. Give your hips a little wag. And then again, we come into our squat, toes out, heels in, shoulders drawn down, lowering, maybe a little lower this time. Just kind of noticing that edge for you. Belly draws in, pelvis kind of tips back a little as the tailbone drops under the body. Okay, breathe in, lengthen the legs, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, come back in. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, coming back in. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Pause here. And then release. Back to your 5-pointed star. Let your toes turn forward. And then let your body move forward and down. You can stay just in stillness here if you'd like, or find those gentle rocks from side to side. Maybe letting your torso move like the trunk of an elephant, kind of flowing out through your hands as well, draping your body side to side. Again, one of those things that like doesn't really matter how it looks as long as it feels good. And then come back to the center, breathe in. And as you breathe out, start to pivot back toward the front of your space. Step that front foot back, find your way to your plank pose. And then we'll find our plank and side planks again. Okay, breathe in and out. And let's move the left hand to center, spin open here. And if you'd like to, we can find what's called wild thing, where we flip all the way over. So we'll need to bring the right foot up first, kind of lifting, and maybe this is where you stay. This could feel just fine. But if you'd like, bring that right foot behind you and start to rotate your hips upward and your chest more open. Your gaze moves up to the ceiling and your arm can reach out behind you. Okay, keep lifting your hips, breathing, and then slowly rotate back down. Bring that right foot back across. Come back to your plank, kind of find your foundation, your push-up position, and then right hand to center, spin over to the other side. Okay, so maybe you start first by stacking your feet, left foot stacks on the right, give yourself a new stable base, lift the bottom hip away from the mat, and then you can lift your left foot, bend your knee, let the foot come behind you, rotate open, hips point up toward the ceiling, chest opens, we reach the left fingers away and overhead. Keep breathing here. Keep pressing into your feet. One more breath in, and then we use the exhale, slow and controlled. Reverse back over, left foot comes back across. Breathe in. Let's breathe out, bring the knees down. And let's lower into puppy pose. You can keep your hips over your knees here and release your arms out long and your chest down. Inhale, start to lift your head, and exhale, bend your elbows, let your forearms come down, and slither your body forward and into Sphinx pose. So let your feet turn down, let your legs press into your mat. And let's start to lift our chest here. First, focus in this number 11 position of the arms, pressing through your forearms. Okay, pressing down to give yourself some spinal extension. And then kind of clawing at the mat a little bit here and squeezing the shoulder blades together to reach the chest forward. This might add a little bit of sensation into the middle of your spine. Stay just like this with your head lifted and still pressing down into the forearms so there's space between your ears and shoulders. Or maybe you want to drop your chin into your chest. You can just stay like that or kind of find a little movement. And then lift your head back up if it went low. And let's release. Let your arms come underneath your head. Bend your knees. Rock your feet from side to side. Release your feet back down. Gently peel yourself away from your mat and move into child's pose. Knees wide, big toes touch. Release the head down. Start to lift yourself up and into downward facing dog. Let's take a breath in and out. Start to bend your knees, rock yourself forward, walk, step, or hop your feet toward your hands. Let's lift halfway up on the inhale and release down on the exhale. Bend your knees, press through your feet, inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms overhead, and exhale, bring your palms together and down through the center of your chest. And for our last bit of standing postures here, we'll do tree pose. Okay? Let's settle the weight onto the right foot. Let your toes kind of spread out in that foot. And start to turn your left knee and toes out. Okay? You can take that kickstand variation of heel inside of the ankle at the base of the shin, or bring your foot to the middle of the shin inside, or maybe sliding it up to the inner thigh, or maybe taking half lotus if your knees feel okay with that, rather the left knee folding that foot across the thigh. Okay, let your legs work together. Okay, so left foot pressing to the inside of that right leg, and the right leg pressing gently back. So your gluteal muscles are engaged, but they're not super duper clenched, right? They're toned. And then we open the chest, bring your hands together in front of your heart, or maybe extend your branches out long. Know that you're probably going to wobble and wiggle, and that's okay. Right? Our job here is just to notice, just to be an observer, but we're not attaching any story or judgment to it. We can be with our breath. We might not be able to control everything else around us. And then bring your hands back in front of your heart and lower that foot down. You can let the knee rotate forward first. And let's find a little bit of release. Shrug shoulders, shake out arms and legs. And we'll find the other side. Let yourself steady onto the left foot, spread your toes, kind of lift them all up and then seal them back down. Feel that plugging in through the toes and the outer edges of your feet, and maybe a little bit of a lift on the inside, on the arch. Okay, turn the knee and toes out of the right leg and find your position here. Giving yourself time to set up, maybe traveling through the different options and noticing where your body just seems to kind of find that just right fit. Where does it feel right for you? Let your legs work together. Right, so foot pressing into the inside of the leg, knee points to the side, giving yourself a little more of that hip opening, legs work together. Hands can find a new position, maybe latching behind you, maybe they're extended out. Start to bring your hands back in front of your heart, noticing that conscious breath as you breathe fully in. Feel your belly and your lungs expand, and the breath rises into the chest. And then with your exhale, let the knee turn forward, let the foot come down, and let's release. And then pause, find stillness here, your feet planted down, hands together in front of your heart. Thumbs kind of plugged into your sternum here, feeling connected to yourself. And then let your hands come out and to the side for Tadasana, mountain pose. Deep breath in, bringing this breath up through your feet, through your pelvis, up through your chest, through your head. Exhale, it travels back down. Inhale, circle the arms overhead, reach up, lifting across the chest. And then exhale, bend at the knees, fold forward and down. Plant your hands, step or hop your feet back. Make your way into your final downward facing dog. However you get there is totally up to you and it's fine. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Start to move forward and down onto your knees and down onto your belly. Extend the feet back. Press into the hips. Let's bring the hands together. And if your hands don't lace together in this position, you can always use your strap and take your strap into your hands. Let's exhale all the breath and then inhale, lift everything up. Toes lift and reach back. Knuckles lift and reach back. Pull the shoulder blades together and down and make a little more space between ears and shoulders. Notice that rocking forward and back as you breathe in and out. One more breath in, lifting, reaching through the toes, reaching through the knuckles and the crown of your head. And exhale and release. Let your arms just lay heavy at your sides. Bring your left cheek down to your mat. Release here in this kind of reverse shavasana. And then slowly press yourself back up, peeling away from your mat. Come onto your seat. Extend your legs out in front of you. Here we'll take sort of the opposite of what we just did. We found spinal extension, and now we'll find flexion, kind of rolling in. So let's press the legs down. Inhale, lift up with the arms and fingers. And then exhale, fold over your legs, release your hands down. Maybe make it to your feet and draw yourself in. That might feel nice. Or just sort of take a fully more surrendered version here, where you just let your body drape, let your head drop. And then very slowly begin to press yourself back up. Let your hands help you. Exhale when you get to the top of your seat, shoulders melt. Bend your knees, scoot your seat toward your heels. And let's prepare our blocks here as we come down onto our backs. One or two. One is going to be used the long way at the back of your heart, like so. Okay, and when you lay down on it, your shoulder blades will hook around the top corners of the block. So start to lay yourself back down there. Situate the block, and this is going to bring us into a supported fish pose. You can extend your legs out long after you've gotten the block situated. Let your pelvis just kind of drop and settle into the mat. And for some, this is just a little bit too much extension in the cervical spine or the neck, or it's like kind of intense. So you might want to bring that other block under your head to lift up. Give yourself more support. Let your feet just flop apart or in, whatever kind of feels natural, letting your legs get heavy here. Hopefully you're feeling a sense of freedom in your breath in the whole of your abdominal region and the thoracic region and up into your shoulders with this little bit of elevation here. So inhale, maybe exaggerate, really notice that kind of puffing out of the belly and the breath rising up. And exhale, let it go. Let your shoulders really melt over your blocks, drape over the block. And maybe you want to stay like this. This could just feel fantastic for you. But we have an option to return to something like this in Shavasana with our blanket instead. So you'll roll up your blanket and kind of place it along your spine like you sort of have your block now, just a little bit of a gentler version. If you've kind of had enough of this for now, bend your knees again and roll gently away a bit. So you can take your block or blocks out and come on down to your back once again. Find some gentle movements here. And then let's take one of those blocks and place it under the low back for supported bridge pose. And you can stay in your supported bridge with your sacrum, the boniest spot at your low spine, those fused vertebra, just kind of surrendering or melting into that block. Or maybe in another breath, you're lifting your legs up into the air for waterfall. And that block kind of acts as a wedge to help to keep your legs lifted. This can be a nice version of what's called legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. But sometimes a wall isn't nearby. But feel free to just move your mat all the way to your wall and call it a day right here. This could be your Shavasana. I like to find some rotation of the legs, the femur bones kind of rotating in the hip sockets. Okay, that can feel kind of nice. Maybe some rotation of the ankles as well. And then start to bend your knees, feel them draw toward the chest, and let your feet come down to your mat, and then slide the block away. Let your knees go wide, feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. And the left hand over your heart and your right hand on your belly. Come back to those deep belly breaths here, feeling your hands rise in the alternate motions of your breath. So we inhale and that bottom hand starts to rise. We continue breathing and the top hand begins to rise. We exhale, top hand draws a little bit down, back of the body presses into the mat. And the bottom hand releases down. Maybe this is your Shavasana. We've got all these Shavasana options today. Maybe not. Maybe you want to rock off to the side and situate your blanket. I'm going to take my blanket and just unfold it a little and then re-roll it, kind of like a Tootsie Roll type of setup. Okay. Roll and lay that down. The low back once more, the sacrum connects to that bottom edge of your blanket. And maybe you want another blanket to roll on top of that one, make it a little thicker. And lower yourself back down. Check in here. For me, my head drapes off the edge of the blanket and feels fine for me, but maybe not for you. So maybe you can take one of your blocks again and bring that under your head, or just kind of scrunch up your blanket a bit to make yourself a little bit of a pillow. And then let your arms and legs come out to the sides. Close your eyes, unhinge your jaw, let your tongue fall toward the back of your throat. Feel your body get heavy here. Feel yourself taking up space on your mat. And allow yourself to really settle into a feeling of ease here, right? We, again, know that we can't control all of the circumstances of our lives. We can't be in charge of the universe, but we can be in charge of our response to things and how we show up in the world. And we do that feeling connected with the breath, breathing in, I calm body and mind, breathing out, I smile, dwelling in the present moment. I know this is the only moment My favorite quotes from Thich Nhat Hanh, Buddhist monk and author and teacher. The quote reminds us that we're here right now in this moment with our breath, and that's really all there is to our existence, right? The past is complete, the future is yet to come, but here we are right now. Please stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like, and you'd like to lean into the luxury of time if you've got it this evening. But if you're ready to move on with your evening, start to find a little bit of movement and deepen your breath. So let your fingers and toes and your ankles and wrists wiggle and roll. And let your head rock from side to side. And reach your arms long overhead, again, lacing your fingers and reaching up through your palms, kind of like we did when we were standing. And let your hands release and clasp your elbows above you and drop one elbow to the side, kind of making a banana shape on one side, and then come back to the center and over to the other side. And come back to the middle and start to bend your knees and roll over to either side in a fetal position. Let your head be supported somewhere and let your legs be just heavy, resting together. Bring the top hand down to the floor and press yourself up into a seated position. Sit up nice and tall with your next inhale, feeling your spine lengthen once again. And exhale, let your shoulders melt and your spine stay nice and long. Notice your experience now. What does it feel like to be in your body? What does it feel like to be with your thoughts and with your emotions here now? Do they feel a little bit more steady? Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Bow your head to the wisdom of your heart and lift your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows, sealing your practice. Let's take a deep breath in, kind of gathering up all of the practice, feeling everything we experienced, and then let it go. Here we are right now with each breath. Thank you so much for coming this evening. It's been a pleasure to share this time and space together. The teacher in me honors and bows to the teacher in all of you. Namaste. Thank you again for being here. Please let me know what's on your mind, any thoughts or feedback you've got. And I hope you're well. Have a wonderful night. And I'll see you again on Saturday morning at 9:30 for the Saturday morning Vinyasa class, and then again next Monday evening at 5. Bye-bye.